Hi, Stefan here. I would like to show you a new program called the Cross Neuro Database. This program has an import function that will automatically read all patient data files from your EMG system and place both numerical data as well as recorded curves into a database located in your computer or on a server. You may then search, filter and extract data and curves with the built-in data mining functions and have the results presented in Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint. The program contains three main functions. It allows you to review all results and curves from every visit for one selected patient. This will be invaluable the day you switch to another EMG system and cannot access old data anymore. It also offers a way of doing all kinds of statistics for a patient group, which is of course extremely time-saving during research projects. And finally, it creates and shows detailed administrative volume statistics. So let's start the program. After entering your password, you will see the main menu. As the first step, you need to import all KeyPoint Classic data into the database. This is only done once and when you need to update with the latest examinations. It may take 1 to 2 hours or more depending on number of your studies, so this can be an overnight job. Data can be imported with patient ID or in an anonymous form. I have already imported about 70,000 KeyPoint Classic patients into my database, so I can select an analysis program right away. Let's start with data mining. Data mining is used to extract selected data for a specified patient group. The patient group is selected by setting filter values for one or several fields. So let's select only men between 30 and 50 years. As you can see, about 10,000 patients matched this filter. The next step in data mining is to select which data to extract for this patient group. So I click Next. Let's say we would like to do statistics on motor median nerve distal data. I then select the motor sites table and select both left and right side and median nerve. The number in parentheses shows how many median nerves there are in the database for the selected patient group. I select wrist stimulation point and APB as recording site. I add this anatomy selection and then choose the parameters to extract. Let's keep all parameters and add some patient data as well. Let's include patient's age and height. I click Next and start the extraction. After inserting a name for the resulting file, all extracted data are now inserted into a Microsoft Excel file. And here you can see all the median data for the selected 10,000 patients. You can now continue to do statistics and diagrams using the Excel functions. This is an example which shows patient's height on the x-axis versus takeoff latency on the y-axis. And this interesting diagram shows all distal latencies sorted from the shortest to longest, measurement number on x-axis and the distal latency on y-axis. Both normal and abnormal latencies are included. Since so many data are included, more than 9,000 in this case, we can estimate the normal limit, which is where the curve bends away upwards. In this case, just above 4 milliseconds, which fits very well with existing normal limits. Now let's switch to the function called Merge Data Parameters. This is used when measurements from different test types shall be compared. As an example, let's compare median motor conduction velocity with EMG MUP amplitude in APB for the selected patient group. I start by selecting the motor median conduction velocity parameter. I select the motor segments table. We start with the left side, median nerve, from above elbow to wrist. I select the conduction velocity parameter and add that to my list. I then continue with my APB mean MUP amplitude, selecting the EMG table, the left APB muscle, any interpretation, and the mean MUP amplitude. I add that parameter as well. I include patient age and height. I then click Next and start the data extraction. I give the result file name. As you can see, the selected parameters are placed in columns and can be compared. For example, this diagram shows median motor conduction velocity on the x-axis and APB MUP amplitude on the y-axis. All key point classic curves are also stored in the database and can be extracted. Let's get some biceps motor unit potentials. I select EMG MUP curves and then specify the anatomy. I add this to my list of curves to be extracted. Then I click Next and enter a result file name. All curves are now placed in a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Each curve is a high-resolution drawing object and can therefore be modified using PowerPoint functions. For example, change colors, line style, moved, and resize, and merge with other drawings. You may of course also copy any selected curves and paste them into your Word manuscript. Curves can also be extracted from the database and saved in an Excel file. Simply select Excel as the output format and start the extraction. One curve is saved per row with all its sample values in the columns. This allows analysis within Excel and export to signal analysis programs such as MATLAB. Okay, that's data mining. An easy and very fast way to extract a lot of data and curves for a patient group. Now let's take a look at the single patient review. This function will extract all data and curves from all visits for one selected patient. Simply insert the patient's ID number and click Start. All data are now placed in an Excel file and all curves in PowerPoint. A summary sheet shows all results for this patient, grouped on test type and investigation date. All curves for this patient are shown in PowerPoint. The detailed data sheets shows all data sorted on investigation date. This allows an easy way to follow one or several parameters over time for one patient. This is a follow-up diagram for motor, median latency and duration for one patient. The production statistics function creates detailed volume statistics based on all your key point classic recordings. Simply click Start and insert the result file name. It takes about 20 seconds to create the full statistics for my 70,000 patients. The result is presented in the very powerful pivot table function in Excel. I will not go into how to use the pivot function. You can find a lot of tutorials about it on the internet. This diagram shows total number of studies per year for the past 20 years. You can select only 1 year and get monthly statistics like this. This diagram compares each month for the last 3 years. As you can see, July is vacation time in Sweden. You can also get statistics based on the number of performed tests. This shows total number of tests per month performed during 2013. Another example shows the development of number of motor nerve conduction studies over the last 20 years. It's possible to get statistics all the way down to individual anatomies. This graph shows the top 10 investigated EMG muscles during 2013. The pivot function in Excel is a very flexible tool. All the background data is in there, so it's up to you to select how it shall be presented. And finally, a short summary of what the KeyPoint Classic database program can do. Extract and do statistics on any data for a patient group. Extract any curves for a patient group and place them in PowerPoint for graphical editing. Extract any curves and place all sample values in Excel for signal analysis. Review all data and curves for one selected patient. Production statistics with all kinds of presentations. Please visit stahlbergsoftware.com to read more and check out the details.